Coming off of their loss in the 2019 NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors found themselves in a state of question. Not only had they just failed to capture the elusive three-peat, but in the process had lost all-star guard Klay Thompson to a crushing ACL tear, and would soon learn that former MVP Kevin Durant would elect to sign with the Brooklyn Nets in the offseason. This meant that nearly 50 points of total offense per game was now suddenly off the table entering the 2020 NBA season. Knowing that there would be a giant hole missing in the team's backcourt, the Warriors would turn to the draft in hopes of filling the void. A price of their recent success, they wouldn't have the luxury of scouting a top pick in the draft, but as GM Bob Myers began looking over options for the 28th pick, there was a smooth 6'4" guard from the University of Michigan that caught his attention.
With the 28th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Jordan Poole from the University of Michigan.
He rifles it right in front of us to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt, extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole!
Whoa, Jordan Poole, hello!
Tomorrow, the free press, the news will be loaded with, are you serious?
My path to getting drafted was pretty different. When I came out and I declared I wasn't even supposed to get drafted, the Warriors were my first workout. I had a really good workout process. I had broke my hand coming into the combine, so I couldn't play. So it was like a lot of adversity. Went through the process, and being able to go in the first round was always a dream of mine, and the Warriors gave me an opportunity, so I was blessed.
The Warriors had originally planned for a young Poole to learn under two-time MVP Stephen Curry, a player that presented the perfect blueprint for how to dominate as a perimeter-oriented guard. However, after just 3 games, all expectations for the season would drastically change when Curry broke his left hand following a nasty fall against the Phoenix Suns. Golden State would shift into full player development and rebuild mode, resulting in a number of young players, including Poole, being given a larger role in the rotation. This presented the rare opportunity for Jordan to gain valuable experience in a championship-minded culture. In the first 2 months of the season, JP would show signs of the scoring touch that had earned him a spot on the roster, but still struggled with the pace of the NBA, resulting in him being assigned to split games with the Warriors' G League affiliate in Santa Cruz. Despite the difficult journey that comes with being a two-way player, the G League experience would build some much-needed confidence in Poole heading into the new year. Upon his return to the main roster full-time, Poole would not only regain his place in the rotation, but played noticeably more aggressive in his time on the court. It seemed as if Jordan was set to be a primary ball handler for Golden State for the remainder of the season. But in March 2020, league play would grind to a halt courtesy of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Throughout his rookie season, Poole had played 57 games for the Warriors and even started 14, on his way to playing over 22 minutes per game for the defending Western Conference champs. Like all players in their first year, Jordan had struggled at times to find his rhythm at the game's highest level, but the confidence shown in the final stretch of games showed promise and set him up nicely heading into his sophomore season in the Bay.
Steph was out our first year, Klay was out. A lot of pressure, was on Draymond because he was the only vet that we had out there my first year. Had a lot of different teammates, so it was a roller coaster in terms of consistency with everything across the board. But in terms of my game, I had no doubt about how I would play. It would just be a matter of.
Ang pisong Bitcoin noon, worth 1 million pesos na ngayon. So invest with Maya Crypto.
While the pandemic would push the start of the 2021 NBA season back into December 2020, the long off-season had resulted in plenty of time for Poole to prepare for his sophomore campaign. As a team, the Warriors' expectations for the season would once again take a hit just a few weeks prior to opening day, with Klay Thompson tearing his Achilles after finally being set to return from his ACL injury. Although this led to several questions about the team's rotation, Stephen Curry would make his return to the primary point guard spot, leading to Poole being pushed into a more conservative role off the bench. Jordan would struggle early in the season, forced to learn how to play effectively with the ball out of his hands and clearly searching for a rhythm in his limited time on the floor. This resulted in him playing just 9 minutes per game, in which he would average a mere 5 points a night throughout the first 15 games of the season, something that both he and the Warriors knew needed to change. In January of 2021, the NBA announced that the G League would be playing in a month-long bubble season in which 18 teams would play 15 regular season games followed by a postseason. The Santa Cruz Warriors would be one of the first teams to accept the invite, and not long after, the organization assigned Jordan Poole to join the team's bubble roster. This was one of his last chances to show Golden State exactly what he could do in an expanded role on the main roster, and that's exactly what he did.
When the decision for the bubble came, a lot of the older guys just told me to be aggressive, play my game, and they said that I was extremely talented and skilled, and it would be a great opportunity to go down there and just excel and learn. And I took it to heart, and I took it as game rep. But when I was down there, I just took full advantage of it, and just decided to try to better myself as best as I could.
Poole!
Oh, wee!
Jordan Poole hammers it down. Poole shot fake. Poole gliding and scoring with the foul.
Week of the G League season. Poole in rhythm. It's good.
Playing in 11 games during the bubble, Jordan Poole would average 22 points and 3.5 assists in a message to the Warriors front office. He was ready to contribute at a higher level. Upon returning to the main roster, Poole was immediately inserted into a larger role off the bench, scoring 26 points in 26 minutes in his first game back.
Speaking of opportunity, Jordan Poole, welcome back.
The second stint in the G League had clearly raised confidence in his game, and as the season progressed, Jordan Poole would never look back.
And how about the defense there? 1 second to work with. Jordan Poole from beyond midcourt. Banked it in! Banked it in! Jordan Poole up and under to finish. Come on now. This man is feeling himself. The coach said I could finish against the best team in the league. Look at him. There he is with the and one.
In the final 35 games of the season, Jordan Poole would average 14 points on 42% shooting in 24 minutes off the bench. He had proven that he could fill a valuable role as a primary scorer in the second unit, something that had been a weakness for Golden State in their 2019 finals run. The Warriors would end up being eliminated from playoff contention by the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in tournament that season, but Poole's growth overall was invaluable. Not only had he had the opportunity to learn from an all-time great in Stephen Curry, but Jordan had proven that he had the potential to be much more in his own right than many people had seen coming. His ability to shoot and create shots off the dribble was developing before everyone's eyes, and as the Warriors were set to be at full strength over the course of the 2022 NBA season, Jordan Poole was ready to take his game to a whole other level.
I saw it when the pandemic started a year and a half ago. As soon as we were able to come into the gym, he was in the gym every single day. He had experienced a rough rookie year. We had to throw him into the deep end. He wasn't ready for it, but we had no choice with all of our injuries, and he saw what he was up against. And it's like, okay, I gotta work. From that moment on, he was the first one in our gym when we opened the gym back up. We got a lot of hard workers, but Jordan's in here every single day.
I'm just trying to get better every day. As cliche as it sounds, and when you really dive deep into the statement of I want to be the best player that I personally can be, you're not worried about anything else, right? If you focus on being the best player you can be, it helps the team, it helps your teammates. You just put your head down and grind and focus on getting better each and every day, right? No matter what it is. When you look up, you'll be starting, or you look up and you'll be an all-star, whatever the situation is, you'll win a ring. So, just day-by-day process, be present, be where your feet are, and everything else will just take care of itself.
Having come into his own down the stretch the previous year, Jordan Poole would continue his ascent in the preseason, winning the starting 2-guard spot as the team awaited Klay's return later in the year. Jordan knew that his play would be a major deciding factor in the team's success going forward, and he was ready for the moment. It wouldn't take Poole long to show the growth he had made as a player in the offseason. In just the 7th game, Jordan would put together his first career 30-point performance against Charlotte. Then later that month would drop back-to-back 30-point games over Toronto and Detroit. Poole's confidence level was off the charts, playing loose and making defenders pick their poison as he demonstrated a bag of moves that rivaled some of the elite scorers in the league.
Jordan Poole, how'd he make that? Poole for the lead! Good! Final minute 22. Oh, Poole step back, the yank back three!
He made Kyle Lowry run away.
Oh, Poole had Clarkson fall down and then hit the three!
The return of Klay Thompson in January of 2022 meant that Poole would be moved to a more consistent role off the bench. The unique dynamic of inserting Jordan Poole in what was already an all-time great backcourt between Curry and Thompson resulted in a three-headed scoring attack that left opponents scrambling for answers.
Against Golden State. Poole wide open, and down it goes! Stephen Curry drawing all that attention.
The month of March would be when Poole officially showed the entire league exactly what he was capable of. Curry would miss the final stretch of the season with a leg injury, resulting in Jordan assuming the role as the team's primary ball handler. Over the course of the final 20 games of the season, Poole would go on a streak of 17 straight games with over 20 points scored, including a career-high 38-point and 7 threes made outburst against Phoenix. His performance during the final month of the season would help Golden State secure the number 3 seed in the West, keeping the team afloat in a heated playoff race. Jordan had finished the season scoring 18.5 points per game, up 6 from the previous season, and had even secured the title of the NBA's free throw percentage leader, something that had routinely been held by teammate Stephen Curry. While these accomplishments weren't enough to be recognized as a finalist for the league's Most Improved Player award, Poole and the rest of the Warriors had their sights set on a different prize, and they were gearing up for another run at basketball's crown. The night before Golden State's first playoff action in the newly built Chase Center, Jordan had traveled to the arena in hopes of getting in one final shooting session before Game 1 against the Nuggets. Upon arriving, he was met with the lights completely turned off inside, as the team's game operations crew prepared theatrics for the next day. Instead of turning around and going home, Poole did what any great player would do. He got up shots in the dark. You see, not only was he about to get his first career playoff experience, but he was being called on to start in the place of Stephen Curry, who would be coming off the bench in his first game back from injury. A stage that Poole had been waiting for.
Poole pulls from deep. Got it! Man. Poole pulls. Splash! Poole. The Euro.
In Game 1 against Denver, Jordan Poole would have the biggest game of his career so far, exploding for 30 points to lead Golden State to a 1-0 series lead. He would follow this up with another big performance in Game 2, scoring 29 points and dropping 8 assists in an effort that captured the attention of basketball fans across the world. Poole's confidence to take difficult shots and showmanship was something similar to another guard on the team, and as Stephen Curry worked his way back into his own flow, the Warriors would string together a series of dominant wins to wrap up the series. Jordan had put up some impressive numbers over the course of the series, averaging 21 points and starting all 5 games against Denver. Once again, Golden State had taken advantage of the three-headed scoring attack that inserted Poole with the team's Splash Brothers, a move that had left the Nuggets unable to keep up.
Poole attacking, corkscrewing up and in!
With the two-time MVP Curry back fully healthy heading into round 2, Poole would be reassigned to his role off the bench for the series against Memphis. However, this wouldn't slow down his hot start to the postseason, as he'd once again come up big in Game 1.
Poole, long three-pointer. That's good. Back-to-back threes from Jordan Poole. Curry to Poole. Poole, he nails it. Thompson to Poole. Poole, long three-pointer. It's good. Jordan Poole from way downtown.
Pouring in 31 points to go with 9 assists and 8 rebounds, Jordan's complete game would help contribute to the Warriors pulling off a huge Game 1 win in Memphis. He would continue to step up when needed throughout the series, coming up with some huge buckets in Games 2 and 3 when the team needed him most. In a hard-fought series, Golden State would eventually hold off the young Grizzlies, winning the series in 6 games on their way to the conference finals. Poole's production in the Western Conference Finals would take a slight dip as the Warriors found their groove against the Dallas Mavericks. In a complete team effort, Golden State would take care of Luka Doncic and company in just 5 games, something that would set up their 6th trip to the NBA Finals in 8 years. Jordan had cooled off from his hot start, but still played over 28 minutes per game in the series, averaging over 16 points as the team's 4th leading scorer. The Warriors' ability to bring Poole in for offensive production when Curry or Thompson needed rest was incredibly valuable to their play in the postseason, and now left them hoping to finish the job on the game's biggest stage.
Extremely excited, really special moment. We worked all season for this, and long season, a lot of highs, some lows, and being able to, win the Western Conference.
Kamusta kayong lahat? May gusto lang kami i-share sa inyo. Alam nyo ba na nagkakapera kami sa pagte-trade online gamit ang expert option?
With this group of guys, it's special.
The 2022 NBA Finals saw Golden State matched up with the number 2 seeded Boston Celtics in the championship series. Jordan Poole would see his time on the court dip slightly, primarily due to the stellar play of Stephen Curry, but still managed to provide a much-needed spark off the bench.
Quick crossover. And Looney with the layup.
We're going to fall in love with Steph Curry's shot making in the offense. It's been their defense that has taken over this one.
Jordan Poole says, let's go. Golden State has a lot of time. Poole with the ball. Launches.
Perhaps his biggest contribution to the series would come in a pivotal Game 5, where even though Curry had struggled from beyond the arc, Poole would step up big in the 3rd quarter to help keep the Warriors in front of a Celtics comeback.
He's got 3 seconds to get a shot off. Wiggins to Poole. Poole gets it off in time. Oh, he banks it in! He banks it in! They count it as the buzzer sounds!
Golden State would go on to pull off a huge Game 5 win, followed by an equally impressive Game 6 victory that saw them complete the journey from bottom of the NBA back to NBA champions once again. In that amount of time, Jordan Poole had made the journey from playing G League games in Santa Cruz to having multiple 30-point performances in a single playoff run. And now in just his 3rd year, he was an NBA champion.
And I always knew that I'd be able to play at the highest level, and win. It was just a matter of win and being able to do it with these guys who've been here, who are extremely experienced. It's just truly remarkable and special. And people tried to write us off a couple years ago and say the dynasty was over, and they tried to write me off personally. But if you believe in yourself, to anybody listening, when your back is against the wall and you believe in yourself, anything is possible. So stick to it.
Jordan Poole's story is the classic example of being ready when an opportunity comes. He had been drafted into uncertain circumstances, with a franchise that was hoping to survive just long enough to get its championship pieces put back together again. In 3 years' time, he was forced to grow up quick, much faster than the average rookie, if he wanted to have a spot in the rotation of a successful team. And in 2022, the basketball world witnessed Poole secure his place as one of the game's rising stars. That being said, the most exciting part of Jordan's journey thus far isn't his shiny new championship ring. It's the limitless blank pages that make up the remainder of his story. A player with otherworldly confidence and an already notorious work ethic that's on track to someday see his name alongside the best the game has to offer.